Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say compliments of the season. This is the last Saturday of the month and of the year, and the year ends tomorrow, 31st on a Sunday. And we are entering into the new year, and I wish us all with happy trading, successful trading, no more blowing of accounts. Yeah, it's going to be a year where you have testimonies and it will be profitable for all of us. And what do we have going into the new year? This is the US dollar index. We can see the monthly candle the way it is, bearish, and I believe this is the way it's going to close, because there's not going to be any trade on Monday, the first. From 2nd on Tuesday, the trade will resume, and already we're in January. So we're going to see what is going to happen in the new month. So far on the US dollar index, what we had seen that the price has been able to tick about almost 80% retracement of the move to the downside. That means from here to this point, price had tick about 80% of that movement to the downside. So what are we going to see? Are we going to have a major pullback, or is it going to be a sub pullback? Or let me reframe myself. Are we going to have a major correction or a sub correction for more downside? Because the price looks set to break the bottom now. Now, if you look at the DXY, because they're almost the same, the DXY had actually done, it broke 85 points. It's 6.4. It has broken that now to the downside just by a slight wick. It has broken it to the downside. We can say probably price had tested like 88 on the DXY. So it has broken all this structure and all this. It even broke this major support. It has broken it now. So which tells us that price is going to take the bottom. It may be that we're going to see a sub correction, which is not a major correction. And by the time we are attempting to break the bottom itself, that is when we might see a major correction. So, but we must be ready. So we must be ready to read the mood of the market and what the market is trying to print. Is it a minor correction that we're having now, waiting for a major correction to the upside before we continue to rally down? So we're going to see all of that. Then the euro dollar price also on the euro dollar had, gone beyond 78 also, breaking the major resistance here, trying to test this. So we can see that the price is moving to actually break the top here. Now, without wasting more time, and we're going to see and learn what to do. Now, with the move of the price, the weekly resistance, sort of support here, as the case of US dollar index, it's not that important because price over time is going to actually break all of that. So we had seen on the monthly that this candle is going to close this way and it's bearish. So turning to the weekly, so we are saying that it's kind of giving us a price action, because it's going to close this way. It's going to close this way. This price action may just mimic that. We are going to have a correction, and that correction on the weekly might just be from here to here. From here to here, it's difficult to say for now that we are correcting the movement from after we had this correction, this movement, this correction, which is the second correction here, this movement, this is the third correction. So even if you're going to interpret it crudely, in a very crude manner, you may say that this is like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So if that is what it is, crudely, we might be trying to correct deeply if it's going to turn out to be that. But we're going to see if that is what is going on or not. The lower time frame will show. And when we have challenger times on this very smaller time frame to understand the mood of the correction, we should always turn to the daily time frame to save ourselves, to save our neck of the problem and how to understand correction and how to understand where to decide to pick our trade. So now we are seeing the format of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but even if you want to think that that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let me see. If this one is going to give us the same thing, would it? No, it's not giving us the same thing. Maybe. This one is actually giving us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones, it's giving us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that it's looking like, okay, the 5 wave to the downside is correct, is done, and we're going to have an ABC. That's what the Dow Jones is giving us here. Let me see other. That's a Dow Jones here, DJ. The silver dollar, gold dollar, silver dollar, gold dollar, Dow Jones, and Dow Jones index. So it's actually different. This is Dow Jones dollar, and this is Dow Jones dollar index. Well, if you look at the Dow Jones dollar index, Dow Jones dollar, and that is what it is, it's most likely we may be having a bigger ABC, but we're going to take it the way. So we are going to take it that we might be having a major ABC correction to the upside before we go down now. But the mood of the lower time frame, the 1 hour time, daily time frame will also help us to navigate. But what we can see on the daily time frame now, we know that ultimately we are coming down to break the bottom now. So bringing all this drawing, the immediate correction that we must be expecting is this here, that we are correcting the move, this move from here. After this correction, we are correcting this move from here to here. And that is how we should, take it now, that we are trying to correct this. So, and this is the substructure. The main structure here is here. This is the substructure, and this is the main structure. Even if you correct this and we break this, I don't expect us to take this main structure now. Let's see. what the main structure is giving in terms of where we are having that. So the main structure is sitting just a bit above 50. So I think if we are going to have a very deep correction, this is the area that we may be turning back down. But we will see how this one is going, if it's going to give us a main. Once we break out of here, then it's turning to be a major correction that should find resistance here. That is what we can, how to actually apply ourselves. Now, if we look at, and in that case, let's see where the weak resistance will be. It's still the same way, okay? It's still at that level also. Can you see? It's still at this level that we're going to have the, let me just change it now. It's still at that level that's going to give us, yes, the weaker resistance now. So maybe between here and here, if we go past here. So we should find resistance between here and here. So that is what we can deduce. Now let's shift to the DXY and see the DXY also is going to give us almost the same. Yes. That's the DXY with resistance. That will be the weekly resistance, and which we shouldn't break to the upside if we are correcting. On the daily too, just like we did with, so this is 85 broken by this week, and we may be having a deep correction or not. So both how to actually apply ourselves is to see that the correction is subject to this. And if we go past this one, and trade should find resistance here. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. And that weekly resistance will be around so also it's sitting above 50. So will price reach that is subject to the kind of correction that we see around this area. So price is the first place for price to test, and this is the last place for price not to break before we see more downside. If price should come close to this area, then you might be having a big move to the downside, more than probably, it might just be a recipe for a 1618 move to the downside and not 100. So, but that's the way that is. So this looks like it has completed a 5 moves to the downside as a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That's the way it looks now. It looks like it has finished that correction, a move of a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That's the way it's looking. So in case you want to know, that is a new move to the upside. One of the things we will teach you is to take this spot. Let me use purple. Okay, so take this as your 2. That point as your 2. So take this as the end of that move to the downside. And you are looking at where your 4 is going to be. So once you go beyond what your possible fall is, then you should know that you are doing a major correction to the upside. And your fall shouldn't go beyond 40 here. That's your 40. So we're just trying to scale down and how to help us know that the correction going up is probably going to, once you break this above and you see a correction, all you can do is to buy DXY and to not to go beyond here before we come to downside. So that is what we can see. So it's like it's looking like it has completed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. This may now be your 5, but we have to be careful of the way a manner is going up. If it breaks this trend line, then it's correcting from here to this point. Otherwise, it will still be part of 3, and this 3 will now still come down. So, and one thing in the next is 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what you see most times in the next 1, 2, 1, 2 move. A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, and it's gonna go like that without giving you a 3, and until it's done to burn itself down. So let's look at what euro-dollar is giving us also. That is a bit different. We have to see what a euro-dollar also is giving us. It's a bit different. And we have to find the weekly support in this case and turn it to black. So we are not to break, he's here now. That's 72.52. The first weekly support is here at 89.46. So let's see if we can just enlarge those areas. This area will be a tough place for price to break, which is 72. I don't expect price here at all at 72.30 or so. I don't expect price there. So this is where we should expect that price will not break at 89.49. So we're going to turn to those areas. So let's turn that to black. So I don't expect price for now to pull beyond that area. And except what price is trying to do is to correct the whole of that. So if price is correcting the whole of that, then it's another thing entirely. So what we are taught with Euro USD is that on the weekly, okay, let's look at what is likely to happen on the weekly. The weekly might actually help us. Seeing this move, this is where the price at 5 here on the weekly. If we push this up here, because that is the essence of we having this, if we push this to, let me try and change that to something that would, Okay, let me actually give this black, the major points black here, since we are trading this, and I want us to really understand. Let me change this to a. Sorry for that breaking transmission, network problem around this area. So now I've turned this major area to green, the major weekly support area to green here. Now using this as black and this point of movement of from here to here to finish the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as black. And we are saying for now, taking this one as a 2 or B. This might be an A, B, and a C, or we are taking these as a 1, a 2, and probably a 3. So let's also use this point where the price had made a U-turn. Tentatively, let's use that to make it a black for now. Let's make it a black for now. Now, okay, let's also use this as a black for now, that point. It's a major point now for black. So what we want to see is that, okay, we are taught that if this is 1 and this is 2, is this A of 2 and that this is B of 2, and we're going to have a C of 2. I said that in one of my videos, but we're not looking at the weekly time frame to help us solve this problem. Now, in that case, of what extension is that movement to the upside to this? So if we come from the top here and we take it to the downside, that is somewhere in the range of almost 1.14. So it doesn't look like, if it has ticked 161.8 here, well, that would be calling for an extended triangle. That is going to be a triangle, and a extended triangle where this comes in here and this goes up here, and this will test 1, 2, 3. So I don't see this movement coming to the downside as breaking this bottom for now to give us an extended triangle. That is not what it is to me. We have to look at all of these and know we are more or less seeing the movement and what is coming down as a correction, a further correction for a further upside, and that this had finished its own course here as a B or a 1, 2 for further upside. So I don't see that this could be a part of here with what is happening here. Of course, we're going to wait until we notify this point. Once we notify this point, it's a new trend going up. If it has wanted to do probably a running flat, it would have turned at about 1, 2, 3, and then we should be anticipating the running flat on the bigger time frame. So for now, the tough call is 7230, and here is where to expect that price is going to find a support. 89, let's say 8940, 1.08940 is where you expect price to continue to find support to go to the further to the upside. But of course, that is on the weekly time frame. So we have to tune to the monthly time frame. I'm sorry, to the daily time frame to see what the price is trying to do. Now, what the price is trying to do, we have sorted something out now. This is the daily. We have sorted something out quickly. What we did is to see this move as a possible 1, 2, or A, B, A, this one A, and this one is B. And we said that this is not part of correction. It doesn't look like it, that this is an A of a triangle and that this is a B of a possible extended triangle, and that this one is coming down to break the top. I can't see that for now. I can't see because it's not ticking on the Fibonacci ratio for me. So we had to take this coming to the downside as immediate correction of a move from here after this move to here. So after this, we can say this is a 1 and a 2 and probably a 3 going. The correction to the downside is first, we expect to find support here. If not, it shouldn't break this low of 7240 that I talked about. So that is on the daily. If I bring out my drawing again, so exactly where this green is where we don't expect it to break. So that is where the support is. If it's a recipe of the move from here to the upside, so we are correcting that. And we should find support somewhere around here and begin to go up again. But once we break a particular limit, it means that we are coming around this area and we should find support in this zone before we move to the upside. Now, most times, let me go inside of a 1 hour time. Most times when we are correcting, we are not sure what the correction is giving us. And this seems to have broken this structure here, and we are coming down. So it could be a minor correction or a major correction. So what we can do is to continue to decode the mood of that correction for us to find an entry to go long again on euro dollar. So because this one came down as an A, B, C to have finished that, then this became a mess to us, and we don't know what kind of mess is this. And you kind of think that, okay, on the 1 hour time frame, if this one is an A, B, C, and it has finished, the price should continue to go up. So they now decide they're going to turn it to a more mess for you. Then you are now asking yourself, is it a 4, is it a 5? When you are doing, and price is giving you something like this, the best thing for you to do is to turn to the daily time frame to see, after 2 days, what can I see? After 2 days, what can I see? Because you can't just jump in and dive in to sell or to buy. Because you feel that, okay, this has ticked for you an A, B, C, or you are looking for your 100 extension, a 161.8 extension, not more, and price is going to make no sense of that in the end, then you are confused. No, what you have to do is turn to your daily time frame. Immediately you do that, it will become clearer to you. It will become clearer to you. So what can we see here on the daily? What I can see here immediately on the daily is that we have a movement from here, from the tip there. We had a movement from this tip down to this area. We had a wick. That is a movement, is a complete movement. For me, I would take that as an A. Then from here, back up here is another movement. Me, I will take that as a B. Then what is going down now, I will take it as a C. With that, that would have sorted you out to understand that this move on the bigger time frame is an A, B, and a C. And this C that is coming to the downside, you are looking at a possible 100, 1, 2, 3, but no more than 161.8 extension that of this move, A, B to the downside, 100, 123, 161.8. So that is what you are using to guide yourself. Now, guiding yourself that way, you are being smart. And being smart, you're going to be smarter also to look at, okay, if this is an A and a B, and this C should always give me a 5 waves to the downside. If it's not giving you a 5 waves to the downside, you have to wait. So once you see something that looks like a 5-way structure to the downside, then you are counting, okay, now I think it's burning down. It's burning down. Let me see. At one point in time, it's going to give me what looks like a 3. And at that point of 3, that is when you anticipate, oh, at the point of 3, which is 161.8 of 1-2 of the C wave, then you are planning your entry to go long. That's how to do it. So that way, we're going to put a support here, a resistance trend line, trend here, trend line there, and another resistance trend line there to mark the origin of A, the end of A, the origin of B. Then we're going to look for C. So with that said, let's bring out the drawing. Bringing out that drawing, so you will now see that the black here marks the origin of that A. Now the blue here marks the end of that A. So we can see an A here. And here also marks the origin of the end of B, because this one marks the end of A is the origin of B, the end of B is the origin of C, and we are coming to the downside. So when you now do your extensions through, you will find out your 100 comes in here, and your 161.8, I think it's here. Let me see again. From here, from the black to the blue here, which is around this area. I can put it there, which is that area of blue. Then back up here, which is the B, good. And I push that to the back, okay? So you can see that your 100 is here. Your 100 is there. And let's see. Let me take this out. And your 127 or 12 whatever, or 123, yeah, is here. Let me try and break that so that we know that the first is 100, this is 12. So your 161.8 is actually here. So with that, yeah, it's there. So with that, you expect that this move that is coming to the downside should find support at 1.09400 at least. It shouldn't break that. So which means that this should not be broken before we see more upside. That is what it's so at the end of the day, the recipe of what is coming to the downside for us, because it's corrective actually. So, and it must not exceed here. So in that case, if I now take the entire run from here, just from this point, so that will be like, if you get the reaction here, it's like 76 or 78 to the upside. So that is what it's going to look like, 76, 78. But if it's coming from the entire movement from the black here, if you're going to run it that way, it's going to be, you know, around 30, less than 50, just like we said, because the resistance here is okay, is around 50 here. So it's still like what we are seeing with DXY and US dollar index. But this point for us, so that's the point of the weekly resistance or support rather here. So that's the point. That's the weekly support here. So if we are here to put your stop loss at about 1.08 800, I think that should be a very fair place to put your stop loss. But don't just blindly put your stop loss. Just continue to count your wave because it may do 5 before getting here or 5 around this area, but not beyond here. So now we know that price could test 1.104, or it could decide to test 1.09790. But oftentimes, if price would not stop here, it's going to get to 161.8. Oftentimes, it's going to get to 1. So expect that your blue box should be around this area. Your blue box now will be around this area. That is where to look for your trade. That's the area to look for your trade. That's the area to look for your trade. So just bear with us. It's important. I'm giving you further tip now because you've been liking and you've been on with me here on this journey. So I can only give you a New Year gift. And so the New Year gift is to look for your trade around this area. So you can watch this video over and over. So if your 5 waves does not, if it pierces this, it's not going to go beyond here. And you can just, if you want to be stingy, your stop loss around this area